Lot of corny man. A lot of corny rappers, man. I'm just like, yo, man. I could name a list of 100 corny rappers, yo, right now. Mad from New York. They ain't supposed to be rapping. I mean, who really like these? Who really like these? Tell me. I want to know somebody.
Then I met the devil in God's country. You know, and it's not so much who, it's what, you know, what happens.
The Hip Hop Task Force was created to watch Sean Puffy Combs, P. Diddy, to watch the artists that was connected with P. Diddy.
Three conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. Say, oh.
You know how annoying it is when really important interviews just disappear? A lot of big hip-hop interviews and stories have been mysteriously deleted over the years. Clips removed from YouTube, recordings gone, full conversations erased, like they never happened. And it always seems to happen when artists start talking about the dark secrets of the music industry. DMX and Mobb Deep's Prodigy were two of the artists who warned us. They talked openly about the dark side of the industry and even named powerful people like Diddy and Jay Z. They also talked about who they believed were the real puppet masters behind everything.
The group that was formed like in the 1700s, something like that, 1600s. This dude named Adam Weishaupt. He started this group of people, like powerful, rich people that basically shape popular opinion and the way, you know, the world is gonna move forward.
Just like others before them, many of the interviews where Prodigy and DMX spoke the truth have been erased from the internet and forgotten. Why? Because what they said was a threat to the people in charge. DMX talked about how the industry runs on control and pressure, and he said some moguls keep artists trapped. Both Diddy and Jay Z's names were mentioned again and again. Prodigy wasn't scared to speak out either. He often talked about a small group of powerful people who control not just music but even society. Most of the videos where they spoke about this stuff are now gone, but a few clips are still out there. So let's take a look at what DMX and Prodigy were really trying to tell us and why some people might not want you to know.
A lot of times people say, you're a conspiracy theorist, you watch too many movies or something like that, you know? But a lot of stuff I was learning was very real.
Let's start with DMX and what he said about the devil in the industry. In 2007, DMX performed a strong poem called The Industry on HBO's Def Poetry Jam. It was a powerful moment. He didn't hold back at all. He talked about how the music business really works and how artists are often forced to sell out or go along with things just to survive.
The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real is dying to get in. The industry, justifying they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk with the bat. The industry, got your word meaning nothing. The industry, what you heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, hate, but I dare you to try to take a thing off my plate if you ain't got a strong mind. The industry will break you down, it's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on. See me, I'm getting my beast on. The industry, stay in the dirt, play in the dirt, test the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry. Industry, wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in the way they survive. The industry don't give a about you, but the industry couldn't make a dime without you.
DMX wasn't only talking about bad contracts or problems with record labels. He believed there was something much deeper going on, a spiritual battle happening behind the scenes.
Whenever I went through something, it brought me closer to God. And I stayed in the something, so now I'm closer to God. But being closer is hard. The attacks get stronger, become much harder to fight, and they last longer. That's what it's always been. joy with the pain, dark with the light, sun with the rain. With the right perspective, there can be something to gain. Look for the good and the bad. That was something to gain.
In both his songs and interviews, X would often talk about facing the devil. He believed some people in the industry were connected to dark energy, and their job was to make artists sell their souls. One of the most shocking moments happened in 2013 when DMX went on Dr. Phil and said he had not one but 3 encounters with the devil. He explained that to really understand life, you have to see both the good and bad sides and make your own decisions.
You've had a song on every album, A Conversation with God.
Yes.
You've had...
And a prayer.
And a prayer, and I think you've had...
3 conversations with the devil.
3 conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. Say, oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I've put out 7 albums, but he's only on 3.
But that wasn't the first time DMX said he met the devil. In a 2009 jail interview in Arizona, he said he met the devil in God's country. He didn't name anyone, but you could tell it really scared him. He said clearly he would never go back there again.
I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling over on the highway. It'd be like 4 cars, you know, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what, this has to be God's country. You know, because I'd never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country. You know, and it's not so much who, it's what, you know, what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people. You know, you can't call one person the devil.
Joe Arpaio?
You know, you can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil. You know, and you know, it's through all these hardships that I realized that, you know what? This is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path. And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country. Because he helped me get over these obstacles. He helped me get over these hurdles.
Okay, so but when you're done here,
yeah,
you're out of here.
I'm not looking back.
You're not coming back?
No, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back for a show. I'm not coming back for a visit. I'm not even driving through the states. If I'm in a plane and they're gonna fly over it, I'm gonna go around.
So what did DMX really mean when he said he met the devil in Arizona? Was he just using a metaphor? Or did he actually meet someone who offered him a shady deal, one that came with serious strings attached? Maybe he had to choose between selling out or staying true to himself. Let's not forget who DMX publicly called out over the years: Jay Z, Diddy, and even music executive Liar Cohen. All of them were extremely powerful and hard to touch back then. In one old interview, DMX even accused Diddy of R-wording his artists. Some people think DMX meant financial abuse. Others think he meant it literally, especially after all the serious allegations that have recently come out against Diddy.
Like, damn. I'm glad, you know,
And this isn't the only thing that DMX talked about. He also talked about how there were people in the industry that basically wanted to take you out to dinner and stuff to get a hold of your music. And you cannot tell me that DMX was not talking about Diddy, because the first thing that I thought of is when 50 Cent said that Diddy asked to take him shopping.
As for Jay Z, after he became the president of Def Jam in 2004, DMX said that Jay Z started blocking the release of his 6th album, Year of the Dog.
You know, like I said, I have a crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. You know, I go to do the 6th album, and you know,
Jay Z became president.
Yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, "Yo, dog, inmates is running the building." Like, "Yo, you good?" Finished the album, shoot the video. What happened? You know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know?
According to DMX, it was because Jay Z decided not to retire and saw DMX as competition he needed to get rid of.
A real bad problem, DMX.
I'm so sad. DMX, there's 2 people inside of him. And the Earl is one of the nicest people. I put him up in Lake George. Earl loved being silent with a fishing pole. I shit you not. He just would stay on that dock hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, very, very sad. You know, I think the opioid problem, the syrup problem, is the biggest problem that I've ever seen and I've ever faced, and been a part of. And I can't with it. You know, the crack thing was devastating, but at least the rappers were bringing a spotlight to you becoming a fiend. Okay, and I thought that spotlight, head crack, helped, even though it was harsh and really really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
I don't think that's hypocritical, though. You're saying the
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of
money.
Come
on, don't do that to me.
I don't know him. I really don't. So, I don't know what to tell you. I won't be complicit.
But DMX's issues with Jay Z weren't just about business. It had a lot to do with who Jay Z was connected to, especially people like Liar Cohen, a man who openly admitted that he promoted drug culture through the artists he signed, even though he knew it was making the opioid crisis worse.
Incredible parents, 3 other brothers, and just a loving, happy family. My dad was the head of psychiatry for Kaiser Permanente, and my mother was just a housewife and raising children, and it's a remarkable period of my life.
Now, I've always assumed that you were born in Israel because you have a slight accent when you speak. Have you heard this before?
Yeah, so my parents weren't immigrants because they weren't staying here.
Okay.
So my biological father was coming here just for his education. And my mother worked for the Israeli government.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was born, I went straight back to Israel.
Oh, so you stayed there for a while.
I spent my first 3 years in Petach Tikva.
Uh-huh. Okay, and after you graduated, you went to go work for the Bank of Leumi?
Yeah, Bank Leumi is the National Bank of Israel.
Uh-huh.
My mother got me the job, and it was just when the Shah fell in Iran, and all of the Jewish Persians came straight to Beverly Hills. So we were counting money there.
A lot of money.
And, you know, I was supposed to be a financial analyst, but I ended up counting money, and I think I was making $14,000 a year. I was miserable. It was a horrible existence. But my mother got me the job. I have a college degree, and so I thought that was the responsible thing for me to do.
This is the same person that Jay Z called his mentor in his book Decoded. Jay wrote, "Liar Cohen, who I consider my mentor, once told me something that he was told by a rabbi about the 8 degrees of giving in Judaism. Now Lyre is definitely a powerful figure in music, but he's also surrounded by a lot of controversy. Some people even believe in a conspiracy theory that Lyre might secretly be working with the CIA to use hip-hop to push certain agendas. One reason people think this is because Lyre has been caught saying strange things about his past. For example, in a 2023 interview on Vlad TV, he first said his mom was just a housewife. But later in the same interview, he admitted she actually worked for the Israeli government.
Why is the industry bowing down to Desiree Perez? Is it because of her connection to Jay Z? It can, because a lot of people is connected to Jay Z. There's a lot of agents and employees at Roc Nation. Desiree Perez just happens to have the juice. And one can say it's probably the ties to the cartel. She probably knows how to make the skeletons disappear.
And here's something else. Jay Z himself has been accused of being an informant. Some believe he has connections to government agencies through his close business partner Desiree Perez, the president of Roc Nation.
First meeting I ever had, I was like, we gotta sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew what I wanted to sign DMX. She said, DMX don't sell, your ass is fired. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more like him. Yeah, but he don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't give a f. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. If you remember at the beginning of the video, it's the heartbeats, doom doom. DMX, doom doom. Live at the tunnel. Y'all don't even remember the tunnel. Funk Massive was doom doom. And then I put that sound bite. Let's take it back to the streets, mother. Doom doom. The video's flashing, f***ing up your eyes. It caused change. And now, there was no more shiny suits. We back to the hood, and X is the leader of this revolution. I used to put on the wall a triangle with 5. And they was like, they used to clown me. And they used to be like, who's gonna buy his records, Gotti? Chihuahuas, he's barking. No one wants to hear that bullshit. And I'd be like, yeah. They sold 5. It was no more writing on the walls. It was, y'all f***ing get behind me. I used to tell Leo in the midst of the whole staff, and I would tell him, yo, shut the f*** up, yo. I said, you work better when you shut up and get behind me. Now this is what we doing. And he would shut up.
Back to Lyre and DMX. Don't forget how badly Lyre disrespected DMX after he died from a possible overdose in 2021. According to Billboard, Lyre called DMX a gremlin and said, so the race against time was, X was a gremlin, reckless and looking for a wall to crash into. His death is no surprise if you listened to and watched what X was. We all know DMX had his struggles, but calling him a gremlin right after he died? That's not just disrespectful, it's straight up evil. What's worse is that Lyre later said he helped DMX's career. But the later Gotti claimed that Lyre and Jay Z used to laugh at DMX and didn't believe he had what it takes to succeed.
I still had no fear in my heart, you know, about speaking my mind and letting people know what time it is. There's no reason for me to fear because it's really nothing. There's nothing they can do besides and I'm not afraid of that. Ritualistic and rituals on little, you know, they little kids doing satanic rituals. Like, this stuff is really going on in this world. Like, you know what I mean? You got, you know, sick people like Jeffrey Dahmer and different people like that. And I believe that it was a different background to it, why he was doing what he was doing. I think it was some ritualistic things going on.